Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Teleislas News, the most relevant and important information of the day. In a meeting led by CORALINA, a process was initiated with the purpose of starting the process to remove and reduce the vessel named Mr. Goby.
This vessel has been stranded on the reef barrier located in San Andres Bay since January 31st of 2009 due to mechanical failures and the non-function of the vessel's equipment. The process includes a detailed analysis of the logistics for the removal of the ship, as well as the presentation of all support and documents by SAE, the approval and evaluation by CORALINA of the environmental management plan, and the verification of total compliance with the plan.
On this occasion, all the supports and documents required for the studies were submitted. CORALINA evaluated the management plan for the removal of this ship, and just this morning we met to review the details and verify total compliance with the management plan submitted.
Finally, it was reported by the Deputy Director of Seas and Coast of CORALINA, Gilberto Miles, that the SAE is awaiting the concept of the MAR, and then they start the whole process of removal, reduction of the vessel, and sent to the city of Cartagena all the scrap that this whole process produced.
And red flag continues for marine activities in the department. The latest EDM report invites the National Risk and Disaster Management System to take the necessary measures.
According to the report issued by the IDEAM, the threat will persist for an increase in wind speed and wave height. For this reason, the invitation is extended to the National Disaster Risk Management System to take the measure required. Likewise, to boat operators, tour operators, and fishermen to consider this alert in the planning of their activities. The island's Port Captaincy Office stated that the conditions have been maintained to date, and that is the reason why some marine activities have been restricted.
The meteorological conditions for the island are maintained. We have sustained gusts of wind direction northeast of 28 to 29 knots. The height of the wave outside the barrier is 2.8 to 2.9 meters. What in our inner bay, we have enough restriction in terms of navigation of small boats. It is expected that during the hours of the night and the early morning of Saturday, the conditions are improved for the reactivation of our safe navigation.
The restriction of activities for July 9 of 2021 are the following. Red flag for Aquaria and Johnny Key. It is forbidden to tie boats to the buoy that delimits the baiting area. At the moment, it is not authorized to tie up boats at the Johnny Key dock. Tourist activities in the east, southeast, and south-southwest keys are red flags. Red flag also for jet ski Sprat Bite and jet ski Rocky Key. Baiter stop, red flag. Diving activities, red flag for east and west, yellow flag. Kite surf, yellow flag. Parasail, red flag. Stingray tour, red flag. Navigation in the bay restricted to smaller vessels. The maximum speed in the bay is 10 knots. And to avoid accident with baiters at white water and Sprat Bite, it is 5 knots.
And in other news, 11 captured were announced by the Colonel of the National Police, which highlights 2 minors captured in the Cliff neighborhood. Here is more information.
After the events occurred in the neighborhood of Cliff, where there were shootings on the 6th of July, 2 minors were apprehended by the National Police after wounding an 18-year-old man with a firearm. Colonel Rengifo narrated several captures on the island.
We have 11 captures made in these last 4 days. We make emphasis on the capture of 2 young people who are 17 years old and were arrested for attempted homicide. Detention for them was issued by the prosecutor's office in the Gotas de Paz Center.
On the other hand, the colonel announced other arrests for the crime of drug trafficking.
A 33-year-old woman from Bello, Antioquia was captured at the airport by means of search and control coming from Medellin. Also on the same flight on July 8th, a 37 and a 39 years old. These women were captured and would have to respond for the crime of trafficking, possession, or manufacturing of narcotics.
The seized drugs were camouflaged in the intimate parts of 3 women when then trying to bring more than 1,731 grams of marijuana to the island.
And CORALINA Environmental Corporation conducts a day of groundwater monitoring in the department.
In order to know the current status of water resources in San Andres, the Environmental Corporation CORALINA, through the Quality Subdirectors, performs monitoring and groundwater of the island.
Eso es una actividad que CORALINA lleva a cabo todos los años.
It is an activity that Coralina carries out every year, at least twice a year, once in the dry season and once in the rainy season, and its purpose is to establish the sanitary conditions of the waters that are in those aquifers and that are used day by day through the extraction of some commercial or domestic wells. Let's remember that aquifers are these caverns or these porous rocks that allow storing water under the ground. These waters are subject to various types of contamination or leachates from improperly disposed solid waste, so the corporation is monitoring the evolution of the quality of these waters.
This monitoring is expected to conclude in 15 days with the collection of samples so that the laboratory can process them and determine the state of contamination or quality of water used on the island.
And in order to continue reinforcing the measles and rubella vaccination schedule, they will be visiting the different neighborhoods to immunize children from house to house. Gisela Livingston with more information.
The department SSE announced that after not having achieved the goal of vaccination against measles and rubella, they will be visiting some sectors of the island to give additional doses to children.
Accordingly, this week a microplanning was proposed to cover several sectors of the island for those children who may not have known that they could be vaccinated.
On the other hand, the nurse announced which points they will be visiting.
The sectors that we are going to target are the sectors of San Luis, the whole area of the Hill, in the downtown area, and neighborhoods like the Cliff, Cocal, Santana, and Serranilla sectors. We will be coordinating with the Secretariat of Education to cover the institutions since it is the point where there are more children concentrated.
Hours will be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. both at the hospital and on house-to-house visits.
And after several addresses with the local government, the departmental SE achieved the acquisition of medical equipment.
Hello, Lisa. Good afternoon. Yes, and to everybody that is watching Teleislas News right now. We are here recording from the departmental hospital, where minutes ago we received some information about the new equipment that the departmental hospital received for the users of the health service.
Este es un intensificador de imágenes de última generación.
This is a state-of-the-art image intensifier. It is a piece of equipment that gives us great technical support for urological endoscopy surgeries. What kind of surgeries are these? They are surgeries to remove stones, the famous urinary tract stones that are located in the kidneys and bladder. They are very positive things for the island, very positive for the hospital. With this, we improve the quality of services for the users.
Yes, as the doctor said, this is new equipment, very necessary and required by the departmental hospital for the users of the health service, and this will help to reduce the number of patients that have to be referred to other city of the country for this exam. We also talked to the biomedical doctor here in the departmental hospital, and he was talking a little about the capacity and the kind of equipment that the ESE received.
Se adquirió un arco en C o intensificador de imágenes.
We've acquired an image intensifier, equipment for digital image processing for certain types of operations such as orthopedics, neuro, that helps with the quality of images specialists to determine all types of surgery that they have at this time.
Ok, bueno, lo que ven acá es básicamente una...
What you see here is basically a tower, a video tower, in this case configured in a hybrid way. They can use it for both laparoscopic and arthroscopic operations, which is very positive for the patients because they will be able to do the procedures.
All the information that we transmit here from the departmental hospital. Sylvette Mitchell Archibald for Teleislas News. Good evening.
And a business roundtable will be held in our department to bring together entrepreneurs and travel agencies with members of the value chain of tourism sector.
Good evening, Lisa and all the TV viewers. I say hello from here from the town of the island because we want to talk about a business conference that's going to be held in our department that the chapter ANATO from San Andres organized and what will benefit all the tourism sector of our department.
ANATO Capítulo San Andrés realizará su primera rueda de negocios local.
The San Andres chapter of ANATO will hold its first local business conference. The intention is that the chapter's travel agencies know firsthand the different entrepreneurs who are part of the value chain of the island and at the same time know the products they offer. Well, the intention is that at the time that some of these travel agencies have this type of events or festivities, they can have this service. We will need entrepreneurs who manage products such as catering, wedding planners, music, and dances.
This is all the information we report from here from the town of the island. Continue listen studio with more information.
Thank you, Alice. And now let's get to know other facts that are making news in our brief news sections of today.
The National Police of the Archipelago Department, through its Prevention and Citizen Education Group, conducted activities to promote and disseminate a hotline for women victims of violence 155 in the Santana neighborhood, with the aim of encouraging citizen reporting and the care route in cases such as these, through door-to-door visits and talks by uniformed officers seeking to reduce this crime. The Secretariat of Social Development visited the sector of the Hill, where they conducted an awareness campaign with the inhabitants of the area on the importance of preventing and eradicating child violence. During the meeting, oral health kits were delivered to more than 70 children in the sector. From July 9 until the 10th, the departmental government will hold an entrepreneurship fair to support local talent on the island. The activity will take place from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the hotels Sol Caribe Centro and Sol Caribe Sea Flowers.